I'm out in the garden today with my dad and we're gonna get harvesting a few things. The peas are kind of on their last leg, so we're gonna go through and do one last harvest of all the peas, and then I'm probably gonna try to leave some of them to collect seed for next year, and then the rest of them I'm just gonna pull all the plants out for now. And then we had a look at the turnips and it looks like those are ready to harvest. So we've got a toad out here and we're gonna get harvesting that. While I'm out here in the garden, I wanted to update you on a couple other things. Yesterday my dad came over and we harvested green beans. I didn't film it, but we harvested all 3 rows of green beans, anything that was large enough to harvest. And we harvested over 20 pounds of green beans. So I spent all day yesterday cutting the ends off of those, washing them, blanching them, and then I filled my freeze dryer with green beans. Anything that was left, I put some olive oil on them and salt and pepper, and we grilled them up. I froze a few bags of those so that we just have them for really easy meals. But I'll take you over and show you how my zucchini are doing too. How magnificent are these plants? They are just giant. It had been a while since I had checked to see if any of the zucchini was coming in for the year. And then I came out a couple of days ago and I looked and I had so many zucchini. I picked them all and brought them inside and I had over 35 pounds of zucchini. I don't even know what I'm going to do with all of it. I took some of the biggest ones that kind of got away from me and I gave those to the chickens. I gave one to my dad and he already made a zucchini cake with it. But if you have any good zucchini recipes, please put them in the comments because I am swimming in zucchini and I don't know what I'm going to do with all of it.
And then that's all, folks.
Oh my gosh, totally keeping that in. So you can see right here that the tarp is bulging because the turnips are just giant underneath there. It kind of is the whole way, but it's a little bit harder to see down the line. But I'll lift up the tarp and show you what's under there. You can see a couple big ones right there. It looks like we got 2 in that one hole. But we'll see what we find underneath the rest.
Size of these. They're huge.
I will jump this.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. It's like a pumpkin.
It's huge.
No wonder the tarp was so
I know it.
lumpy.
Hi, buddy.
Hi.
Watch them come and look at this.
Remember that tiny little seed that was this big?
Yeah.
Look what it made.
Oh my gosh.
Here.
That's huge. Oh, that's kind of heavy. It's actually very dirty. Can I help with that, Grandpa?
Yeah, go
I'm
plug
gonna
it in.
hammer it. Yeah.
Good job.
How many pounds we get?
20, 25.
Looks good.
That's a meal for about 6 people right there.
Well, my dad and I harvested what was left of the peas for the year. We ended up pulling out the plants, and these 2 rows that you can see are empty because they were pretty much done. We did leave 1 row of plants just so we can let the seeds all dry up, and then I'll collect those seeds and hopefully I'll be able to use those to plant next year's crop. I'll take you over and I'll show you what we ended up doing with the turnips, and we also decided to harvest some of the rutabaga while we were over there. So I'll take you on the other side of the garden and show you that. On this one tarp back here, I have rutabaga, parsnips, and turnips planted. So the rutabaga are the lighter colored leaves on the side. The turnips are the ones in the middle, and then I have parsnips on the other side. The turnips were ready to be harvested, but the rutabaga weren't quite. But since we put the turnips in the middle, we needed to pull from the side in order to harvest them. So we pulled out some of the rutabaga too. They were just a little small, but they'll be fine. So we just did not quite half of the rutabaga and turnips, and then we'll come back in like a week or so and hope that the rutabaga have gotten a little bit larger and harvest a little bit more. I think that we planted the turnips and the rutabaga and the parsnips all on the same day. So I guess now seeing how quickly one grew versus the other, next year we talked about maybe doing 3 rows of turnips first and then doing 3 rows of the rutabaga. That way, if the turnips are ready to harvest first, we can just kind of roll the tarp back and harvest what we need to, and then wait a couple weeks for the rutabaga to get a little bit larger and then roll the tarp back a little bit further. This whole thing is a learning process for us too, so hopefully next year we can kind of take some things that we learned this year and implement that into our garden next year. I'll put a quick picture on the screen to show you our harvest from today, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one.